What we're going to look at today is being able to run Homebrew on your Xbox 360 without actually hardware modding it. There's a hack that's been around for a while now called Bad Update. Before it was a little bit unpractical as it took a while for it to kick in. Now it's been revised with a new improved version. It's a lot quicker to start up. So what I'm going to do today is show you what you need to do this and how to do it on your Xbox. So what we'll do now is head over to the PC and have a look at the files and build a USB stick to do that. So what you're going to need to start with is obviously your Xbox console. This will work in any variant of the Xbox. So first of all, make sure your dashboard's up to date. It should be. If it's, I don't think there's been any updates of recent, so chances are it already is up to date. A decent sized USB stick, I'd recommend around 64 gigabytes, and obviously a laptop with these files downloaded. So we'll take a look at the files you need in order to do this. So let's look at the first thing we'll need is the Xbox 360 bad update file. You'll find it on GitHub. I'm not going to put links to this stuff because chances are it'll probably will update quite quickly with improved versions. The guys seem to work on this very quickly, so chances are if you're watching this video in a few months' time, it's possibly out of date this, so you're better just coming to the GitHub and getting the latest version. So this was released last week, and so you want to download both the tool zip and the bad update file. Grab the two of them. Now with this bad update, there's two games you can use. One is Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. That can be quite pricey nowadays because of this. And other game you can use is Rock Band Blitz. And luckily this is available for a free download, so you can find this on this website here and download that. The next file we need is called XC Unshackle. Again, you'll find that on GitHub. Just search for XC Unshackle on that and download the latest version. These will all come as zips, so we'll unzip them later on. And another file we want to grab is XCX menu. Once the exploit is running, this will help us navigate files on the Xbox. So we download that, and again it'll come as a zip file. You can download that here on DigiX. And we'll also want to download a thing called Aurora. That's kind of like a dashboard you can run all your content off of once it has been hacked. So we'll download that file as well. And the last thing we want to do is download the simple 360 NAND flasher. So grab that file as well. So once you've got all them together, create a desktop folder. Call it anything you want, but obviously bad update is probably the better name to call it. And unzip all the files you downloaded and just stick them into there. So you should have something that looks like this. So now we've got all the files together, what we'll do is we'll head over to the console, we'll take the USB stick and we'll format that, and also double check the firmware on the consoles on the latest version. So once you've got that, come back to the PC and we'll prepare the USB stick. So we've got the USB stick here, that's been formatted on the console, and we have the bad update folder we've created here with all the unzipped files we've downloaded. Now this might seem a bit overwhelming because of the amount of files we have here, but it's actually not really. If we take our time and just follow the instructions, it's actually very straightforward. The first thing we want to do is grab the bad update file. Go into that, you'll see there's two of them there, one for each game you can use to exploit it. So the one we're using is Rock Band Blitz. So what we want to do is grab the two of them and copy and paste that into the USB stick. Now some of you might do that and the content folder won't appear. It'll just be this one here. If that happens, go into View, Show and make sure hidden items and file name extensions are highlighted, and then you should see this folder here. So next one we want to do is XE Unshackle. So what we'll do is go into the root of that folder and just grab all of them and throw them into the root. There's also a readme there which is quite handy. It's got a lot of information on it, so if you wanted to delve further into things, just have a look at that folder there, or file rather. And so what we want to do is go into, next we want to go into the content here. And if you've done this before in an RGH, you'll remember the file structure of these. We've got the zeros, and then we go in, we've got the game number there. So what we want to do is go into Rock Band Blitz and copy and paste this one over. Now when you unzip the XEX menu, you'll see there's two versions of it. It's the XEX Live one we want to use. So what we'll do is we'll go in there and copy and paste that into the folder we've just put the Rock Band Blitz game into as well. So that's us there. We've got Rock Band Blitz and we've got XEX menu there. So what we want to do now is come out of that, back to the root of your USB stick again, and what we'll do is we'll make a new folder and we'll call this apps. So as you see, we downloaded apps earlier there. So what we need to do before we put them onto the USB drive is patch them. Usually with RGH you don't have to patch them because this is like it's not a soft mod, but it's like a different exploit. These files have to be patched to work. So what we'll do with that, we'll start with Aurora. So what I want to do is open the Aurora folder and go into Tools, XE Patcher, and then what we want to do is drag and drop the XEX file for the program we're doing. So that'll be aurora.xex we'll drag and drop that into the XE patcher here. So with this it won't run as an executable, so what we need to do is go to the address bar here and type in cmd, go to command prompt, and we should have this here. So we're going to have to type a couple of commands here. It's nothing really complicated, but just take your time and do it, and it's relatively straightforward. So what we want to do here is go into the directory dir, and that shows us everything in that folder, all the stuff we need. So next command we want to type is xex till.exe. Just double check everything matches up okay, the caps is correct, stuff like that, or otherwise it won't work. -m space r -r space a, and then the name of the file, which would be aurora.xex, and then press enter, and now that file is patched. So what we'll do now is we will close the command window and we'll take the Aurora file out the patcher and put that back into its folder, which is there. And now we'll just copy and paste. No, we won't. Now what we'll do is go back to the USB drive into your apps folder and just copy and paste that over. So we also want to repeat that process for the NAND flasher also as well. So we'll drag and drop the default XEX into the patcher, CMD, and we have that. Now type dir to get the directory up and gives us all the files there. So we'll just type in exactly the same thing again. Capital X, EX, capital T, dot exe, dash M space R, space dash R and A, and then default dot XEX. Nope, I've typed something wrong. See, I've mistyped that one there. So if you mistype something, that does cause an error. So I just need to change that to an X. If you press up on the keyboard, then it saves you. You can just get your last command back up. So it saves you typing it all out again. You can just go and correct it. So there we are. That's patch 2. So we'll close that. Put the file back there. And just drag and drop that back into your apps folder on your USB stick. So that's everything ready to go now. So what we'll do is now we'll fire up the Xbox and put the USB into it. So let's head over and do that. So that's us firing up the Xbox now. This Xbox is completely stock. It doesn't have any RGH hacks or anything like that on it. So for this you want to just make sure it's disconnected from the internet before you do this. If it's plugged in by Ethernet, just pull that out or make sure it's disconnected on the wireless thing, and just make another, just a normal, and then just make a kind of quick profile up. It's not your own. I suppose you could probably use your own profile, but I wouldn't risk that if you've got a lot of points and stuff on it. So sign in there. So if we go into my games, we should find Rock Band Blitz in there. So what we want to do is start this. And from here we'll time it just to see how long it takes to run the exploit. The first version of Bad Update, that was maybe taking anything from 3 to 4 minutes up to 20 minutes. I've tried this a few times and everything's been kind of around about the minute mark, so hopefully it's the same this time we're on it. I'll just leave this in real time so you can see for yourself. So just press A on the pad, and as you can see it says running exploit. So we'll just leave it to do its thing now. I've heard a lot of people say that the moving background in the back of this, as long as it's doing that, then it's working. Sometimes that might freeze and it means the exploit's kinda, it's not working for some reason. So what the best thing to do then would be to restart the console, but that's only happened to me once. I've tested this a good few times, but there we are. That wasn't too bad. I never timed that, but it must be in the region of kinda 1.5, 2 minutes. It's actually a Falcon, this console. Sorry, it wasn't a Slim. I've got a Slim there, but I must have plugged the other one. This is one of the older ones, so it's a Falcon. So once the exploit's worked, then this screen will come up here. As you can see, it's been successful. You've also got your DVD key and your CPU key there. What you want to do is press the blue button on your pad and that will save the info file. And also press the Y button. So once we've done that, just press the back button. Just sign in again. That's fine. So now if we go across to games, we now see XEX menu, so we should go in there. So there we are, that's us running our first piece on signed code. So that's your XEX menu, is just a kind of navigation system. So what we want to do is use the bumper buttons on your control pad. Just press the top right one and that will take us into the menus, the folder, sorry. So if we go into apps, and then what we want to do is go to the NAND flasher, default XEX, and we'll run this. This backs up our NAND just in case we get any problems further down the line. We can revert back to it, but it's always safe to back this up. If you destroy the NAND on your thing, there's no way of getting it back unless you have backed it up. So we press X to dump the NAND. So there we are, that's the NAND dumped. As you can see, there's a few bad blocks on it. Not sure what's caused that, but it's backed up anyway. So now we'll exit there. And we'll go across to games. Back into XEX menu. Back to apps. And now we'll run Aurora. So there we are. This is where you can put all your games and stuff. I'm not going to go into that in this video just now. I'll probably do another video about how to back up your games and things like that on it. But for now, that's showing you how to run an unsigned code on your 360 without doing any kind of soldering and that, which is great because they were quite a problem to do before. They were quite a bit of work. Now it's as easy as what we've just showed you there. So hopefully this has helped you out and you can enjoy it. I will be back with another couple of videos on this topic though. I want to go over how to put things on it and different apps you can use on it and things like that. So hopefully this video has helped some of you out, and hopefully see you back soon for another one. Cheers, bye bye.